Hey, what's up, Kings? Today I wanted to talk a little bit about how you can have playful banter with your woman. And this is something that's kind of overlooked a lot, I think, by men, especially simpish men, men who think that, niceness is transactional and that you just be nice to your woman and then she'll do nice things for you. And it's not quite that simple. But anyway, let's go ahead and play it.
Am I toxic, or does anyone else find it extremely attractive when a guy, instead of calling you a cute name like babe, sweetheart, or whatever, calls you like dummy or loser?
I love this. The insult that you don't mean if she gets it, that's one of my favorite things. So this
Right. So basically, that kind of is the preamble for all this. So we would know all about this. Oh, you forgot again. You forgot to do this again. Blah, blah, blah. And you say it in a way that is not insulting, and it's kind of obvious. So it's a play on that. Now the woman says like, "Oh, I'm a dummy," and it turns me on. It's not that simple to just say to your woman that she's a dummy. I mean, I think she's exaggerating. Personally, I think that the man that she's attracted to, whatever her fictional scenario or happened in real life, it's like he said something along those lines, but he said it in a certain way that it was obvious that he was joking, and he was kind of ribbing her a bit. So anyway, he's going to talk a little bit about the whole this, like, in a way, three-dimensional. You say something, you mean something, and it's taken a certain way, and he did it in two dimensions.
this right here is my favorite spot on this chart. I made it bigger. I'm also out of green pen. So if you say something good and you mean it in a good way and she takes it in a good way, that's good. That's a compliment. If you say something good and you mean it in a good way and she takes it in a bad way, that's get out of the relationship. If you say something good and you mean it bad, you're probably female. But if you do that and she takes it as good, then she's just naive and that's kind of abusive. If she takes it as bad, then that's bad for the relationship. You're just in.
Right. So this is like the passive aggressive zone, right? So you say something good, you mean it bad. It's sarcasm, and it's kind of like damaging. So you want to stay away from this zone. So there is no winning here, because even if she takes it well, then something's wrong with her.
Insulting her, but at least she gets it. Now, if you say something bad and you mean it bad, that's never good. But if you say something bad and you mean it good, and she knows that you mean it good, there's three things here. First of all, it functions like a compliment. If you say something good and she knows it's good, then that's just a compliment. You're pretty. But if you say, like, you're an ugly piece of crap, and she goes, I know he doesn't think that, it still feels like a compliment, because it is, because you mean the opposite of it. Second of all, it means that you're not a simp, because if you're always in the good box, if you're always saying good things and she takes them good, that means you're not risking playing a little rough sometimes, and it's.
Right. So if you constantly stay in the zone, you're being the nice guy. And we want to stay away from that. We want to be the good man. The good man explores all of the space here. This side of the whole matrix. This side bad, don't do it. Passive aggressive, uh asshole. Basically, asshole zone, passive aggressive zone. This is kind of the playful zone. This is just like the nice guy zone. You want to stay here sometimes too, but you even and it gets to like the context of the woman, like American women versus overseas women. But for American women, this is not always going to work out, and this is why I stress to stay away from American women, for long-term relationships and especially marriage. I am a firm believer that you can get married in this day and age, but with American women, it's a super risky venture. If you play your cards right and you vet the woman and you do everything right, overseas women, you're going to win 80-90% of the time. Your odds are excellent for foreign women. For American women, not so. The exceptions being like maybe the woman is an immigrant, first generation American. She still has cultural ties to Latin America, Vietnam, wherever, some traditional backdrop for her. Or if she comes from maybe a small town and she really was raised well, probably still going to be like a first generation in a lot of cases. Don't fall for the whole like, oh, well, she's conservative. She's politically conservative. I've known many, many, many American women who are conservative. They're kind of born again conservatives. Basically, they had their liberal phase, 20s and 30s, getting piped down constantly, and then they kind of reform afterwards. Don't fall for that trap. I think that you want to be in the zone. If I had to like venture a percentage, you want to be in the zone at least a quarter up to like half the time. Between a quarter and a half the time, you want to be in the zone. You want to show her that you're willing to risk the relationship or the perfect harmony of the relationship once in a while. This should be something, like the dummy thing is a little bit blatant, but a good example is like if you meet her out on a date the first time and she's a little bit sweating because it's hot outside or whatever, you could say something like, oh yeah, you were prepared, yeah, you were in the bathroom doing squats, getting, making yourself, your ass look good. Maybe you don't say it that way, but you say like your ass is, get preparing your ass to look good for me tonight. You're doing squats in the bathroom. That's kind of like a little bit of a weird joke, but something along those lines where it's a compliment, but you're kind of like showing that, hey, you need that work to do on your ass or whatever. So let's take a look at some we're kind of nerding out on flirtatious teasing and banter and everything, but yeah, there's plenty of sources if you look online that it verifies what this guy's saying. Basically, playful teasing and making fun of your woman is it it shows that you have a very secure bond with her, that you're not just playing it safe all the time, you're not just simping. Women need that. I don't care, American, overseas, whatever, they need that, especially in today's day and age. Maybe back in the day everyone was serious all the time and there wasn't as much banter, but today, I won't get into details. Like, we live in a more secure economic world. People are looking for a higher level of attraction, not just sort of our basic transactional necessities in relationships. So you have to evolve in that way. You're now like an evolved species, educated people. So you need to have an evolved sense of your relationship. Look at a couple of these. You're such a silly. These are kind of corny. Don't worry, it's gonna be fun. This might, it might be a take on this one. You could use like if she wears glasses, nerdy, and some takes on that. Dimple's adorable. You have the cutest freckles. This is why we can't. I like this one. Yeah, this is kind of pretty good. This is why we can't have nice things. Such a nerd. Where's your pocket protector? I like that too. Something like, these are good. They're safe enough, and they really allow you to connect with her. Exaggerator accent, love it. I love that. Yeah, this is good too. Yeah, so basically you can kind of just scroll down here, find out like what that would whoop your ass. I actually like things like I'm gonna spank you. Because if a woman is very submissive, she has that trust in you. You don't say that on a first date after you've already established a romantic relationship, and she trusts you. She trusts you that you're not gonna destroy her ass by spanking it. You're just going to do it in just the right way. She's going to love it, and she's going to that connection will just be it'll just be really solidified. Introducing that. I've done that with my wife lots of times. Yeah. So anyway, that's about it. So kind of look up some. You could totally nerd out. I think I think it's a great idea. Get practicing this idea of incorporating banter. If you really feel weird about it, maybe start with the safer ones and then work your way up. But you have to do it. Just stop staying in this zone. Just don't stay here all the time. In the event that the tour that I took for when I met my wife, they were emphasizing this over and over again, and I personally don't like it. I thought a couple of the other guys besides myself were kind of leaking into this zone. But we only had our first and second dates with these women, so there wasn't really a lot of opportunity to do that. But when I met my wife and we started becoming romantically involved, then absolutely I was starting to kind of dwell into the zone a lot more. And it really allows us to connect at a much deeper level. Anyway, that's about it. Take care, Kings.